Alright, after a lot of positive feedback on my first review, I am here to make a second, and it's on the Jazwares 5-inch line. I'll be covering quite a few topics including boxes, articulation, sculpt, pros and cons, accessories, and warnings. Alright, first up, boxes. Now to show off these figures' great articulation. So, some pretty sweet articulation on the 5-inch line. Now, to talk about sculpt. Forget any Sonic figure you've ever seen. This guy has the best sculpt ever. His head is amazingly well done. His eyes are the right color, they're not crossed. His nose comes out at just the right angle. Chiseled smile, perfect sized muzzle, ears are in great proportion to the head, as are the spikes, as is everything on him. The one thing wrong with this figure, sculpt-wise, is that these areas should be colored in white, but they still look pretty cool in red, actually. His shoes have some awesome looking treads, and the hand poses look great as well. Black Knight Sonic is identical to Sonic in every way, except for his sword and gauntlet. You can see the caliber is very finely detailed. They've included this little etched symbol up there. The gauntlet is pretty amazing also. Looks like it came right out of Sonic and the Black Knight. They've got all the detail here, and the red jewel. It just looks great. The Werehog, they really outdid themselves sculpt-wise. They look like they popped him right out of Sonic Unleashed. He's got his really big fists with his fingernails, and they've scraped in all of the detail on his fur. His mouth is on the front of his face instead of on the side like it should be. His nose is smaller. The eyes, they look great. The shoes, they look perfect. He's got treads as well as cleats. So, yeah, this guy's amazing. So far, these guys seem like the perfect figures, but all is not as it seems. Here's pros and cons. Pros, Sonic. Perfect sculpt, really decent articulation, and he matches up well to the other figures in the series. Black Knight Sonic. Great sculpt, great articulation, sweet gauntlet, and sweet removable caliber. Sonic the Werehog. In my opinion, this is one of the most, probably the most accurate representation of any Sonic character in action figure form. Really nice articulation, perfectly proportioned to Sonic. Yeah, it really stinks that this guy's levels suck so much in Sonic Unleashed. Time to tell about cons. Just a few problems, but the ones that he does have really detract from this figure. First of all, this guy has a very, very heavy head, and he falls over extremely easily. Also, the joints aren't on there very tight at all, so this can happen extremely easily. And I think the biggest problem with this guy is that he has crappy legs. Now, what I mean by that is that they don't move forwards or backwards up here at the hip. Turns at the knee, he moves side to side so he can do jumping jacks, but he can't run like Sonic. If you're making stop motions though and you have a problem with this, I came up with a pretty good solution. I just cut out a piece of paper, drew Sonic's legs on it, put a little stand right here, and you can put him on here like this. And in a stop motion video, he looks like he's running. Well, he does if you position it right. Oh, and this little area on the back of his shoe isn't colored white. Black Knight Sonic shares the same fate of cruddy legs and loose joints, and he has one other thing. Caliburn barely goes in there. He's very, very flimsy, and it's really hard to make this guy hold him right. It's always slipping out. So yeah, they could have made the hand tighter on that. Regular Sonic, on the other hand, holds it quite nicely. The Werehog has similar problems. His extremely heavy head and his cleats make for a pretty unbalanced figure, and he falls over quite a lot. And he has the same problem as the others. His feet can turn right there, but right here, they just go to the side. Really stupid move on Jazwares' part. And now for the accessory. Caliburn comes with Black Knight Sonic. It's got a great sculpt, awesome detail, and it's nice and bendable so it won't break. Warnings when buying these figures. Make sure if you get them not to try and move the legs forward because they will break. Also beware of really loose arm joints. This arm hasn't come out yet, but this one does. It pops back in easily, but it's very loose. And some figures come like this in the box, so be really careful and inspect your figure before you buy. Same thing with Black Knight Sonic. With the Werehog, there really isn't anything to worry about when buying him if you want him. So, yeah. So, in conclusion, the 5-inch line from Jazwares has some amazing sculpts, but it lacks in other areas. So, I would probably recommend going with the 3-inch versions of Sonic and Black Knight Sonic. If you gotta have the Werehog, you should get this figure. But I also heard that they were coming out with a 3-inch Werehog, so maybe wait for that. Okay, thank you for watching my video. And remember, if you want any other lines of figures reviewed, just comment on this video, and I'll try to do it.